Hey, welcome back to my channel. It is Christian here. You're tuned in for more of my 2 cents. If you are new, then hey, y'all. Hey, thank y'all so much for watching today. Hopefully, you enjoyed the content. I have really enjoyed, seeing this channel grow from me sharing my story of why I quit going to church into lifestyle topics, different religious conversations, spirituality, family. And now this week we have a little friends thing going on. It's just been a very nice progression, a nice evolution of topics and content. And I can only ask for that much when I myself am consistently evolving into another layer of who I am. Like I think that's natural. That should happen. I'm not one that likes stagnation. I love consistency, but I do like to see growth. I do like to see development of a person, character, mindset, efforts, energy, and output. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm giving some elevation, okay, here on the platform. And this week we have been talking about friends and friendship. And I have had a lot of experience in this area, as have we all, I'm sure. I'm not an expert on friends, okay? But I definitely know that my stories and my situations and my experiences can lean, a little bit, and it can help. It can help other people if shared, okay? And just the fun. It's fun sometimes just to share instances and be able to be like, dang, I've experienced that. I'm going through that right now. Ooh, that's me. And so it's just good to know you're not alone. And that's what leads me to these 3 points, okay? That I'd like to say that matter most before we start any discussion. Number one, you're not alone. Number two, you're not crazy. Number three, God, your creator, still loves you, and I do too. Now, today I'm going to be bringing you guys a story time. My story times are good, okay, for the most part. You ain't too much drama, but they are always insightful and full of detail. So let's do it. This is going to be a story time about how getting married actually caused me to lose my best friend. Now, I'm going to paint a little bit of a backdrop for this friend. We were in high school. This was a high school best friend that I had. Now, mind you guys, I got married at 21. So I was very, very young. And the friend that I lost was who can I call her? Let's call her Sam. Let's call her Sam for the sake of ease, okay? Because I don't want to have to figure out nobody's name. I was gonna say Bernadette, but honey, that's a mouthful. So Sam. Sam was, oh my gosh, she was so cool. I loved her personality and her character. Like she was so cool and logical. Like she was just a common sense person. I would be her friend today if we hadn't had to stop being friends. She was so cool. Um, she wasn't flashy. She wasn't extra, and I was both of those things back then, and I can still be both of those. Okay, today if I choose to be, here and there, everywhere I sprinkle it like a unicorn. So I loved her. We were a great balance. She was extra. I could be unreasonable sometimes and do some, I don't want to say irresponsible things, and she was always the voice of reason, even when we were in high school. And we actually became friends at the end of our senior year. Really, we weren't even friends all through high school. We were friends at the end of our senior year, and from there we became best friends in college. We both went to the same school. We went to Purdue, Northwest Indiana, in Hammond, Indiana, not the one in West Lafayette, honey. We went to Purdue Calumet in West in Hammond, Indiana. And so we had classes. We didn't have classes together, but we would spend a lot of time together. And then on the weekends, we would go out, we would go out to eat, we would just chill. I mean, like we had great conversations. She was such a cool person. Okay. Um, and she was also around during the time that I actually went to Mississippi State for a semester when I was dating my husband long distance, because my husband's from Mississippi. And I went to MSU to be closer to him to bridge the gap of our long distance relationship, which was a total and complete flop. Okay. He acted a fool. He did what 19-year-olds do, and it was over with. Okay. I came back to the crib, and I did. I came back home, re-enrolled in Purdue, and I was able to skip off into the sunset with Sam. We was able to chill again and go to school together and do our, girl things. And I think that it was one of those things, because I'm trying to give some background because it's a heavily emotional story on her part. So I want to kind of like set the tone so y'all get why we were so connected and cool and close. I think that we kind of connected on a sister level where she looked out for me, I looked out for her. We shared our relationship woes. Even though we were young, we were very mature. She was also in a relationship with a young guy who, he was a little bit older than her, but it was game central. Okay. It was giving GameStop. He was playing games and Courtney was playing games. So we kind of were like leaning on each other, and just sharing our experiences. I'm checking my mic to make sure the green light is still there, honey. We were just sharing our experiences in life at the time. We weren't talking to our parents about it. So we were like really good girlfriends in that way. And at the time, I think that she cared about my feelings. She cared about my feelings and protecting me and was like, girl, you know, don't worry about him. You don't need him. You don't have to be with him, da da da, whatever. Move on. And I'm talking a lot of ish too. You know what I'm saying? Like how I'm not and it's over with and I'm going to pursue this other relationship instead of worried about Courtney. And I don't need him. He from Mississippi, da da da, whatever. I'm from the Midwest and I can do better. So things would happen naturally where you have to eat your words. Okay. I am the poster child for that. That's why I no longer say what I won't do and just go ahead with what I'm going to do. Because life will have you out here eating all of the rocks. Okay. All right. Remember that. They say never. But I did. I ended up getting back with Courtney and she didn't like that. She didn't like that, y'all. She didn't. She just could not believe that he was a changed person from everything that I'd shared, from all the tears that I'd cried, from all the hurt that I'd felt. She just did not believe that I was A, taking him back, and B, getting ready to marry this man. She just didn't understand it. Now, um, for all intents and purposes, I never made her feel like she could tell me that I shouldn't be with him, right? Because I had never told her not to be with us. But for whatever reason, it's kind of like how they say never tell your family everything that goes on in your relationship, because if you take them back, your family won't, right? You're going to be out there loving him or her, and your family going to be like, what is wrong with you? So that's why they say keep your business to yourself until you know for sure what you're going to do, if you're moving on or not or whatever. But work on that internally. And I was young and I didn't do that. I shared and I divulged a lot with her. And it was out of that love and respect and mutual, connection that we both had in that area with our boyfriends at the time. Well, it would prove to be problematic. I think the first problem, now that I'm older and I can see it, I believe that she probably was upset that I was getting married, right? That it would go from we're broken up, we're not together, I don't want to be with him, you know, in a year's time, we're back together, we're more serious than ever, and he's come from Mississippi to Indiana to propose to me. That was a big shift from what she was going through, even in life. And I just thought that she would be happy for me. She was happy, or appeared to be happy enough, through the entire wedding planning. She was supposed to be my maid of honor, even. Um, and it's just crazy now that I even think about it. It's like, dang, how did it get that bad? So we would get through the engagement. We would get through her asking me, am I sure I want to do this? And I was like, yes, I am sure. He's a changed person. I trust him. Da da da, whatever. Like, everything is everything. Like, I'm doing it. Okay. So we had no more discussions about whether or not I was serious. But the next friction would come the closer we got to the wedding. Bridesmaids picked out their dresses. She had a different dress from everyone else because she was going to be the maid of honor. I have two sisters, okay? So my married sister at the time was the matron. And then I have another sister that's right before, 2, 3 years before me. She was kind of going to be the maid of honor, but I was going to have two maids of honors. And so I was like, Sam, you could be a maid of honor, and then my sister's going to be a maid of honor. Cool, not a problem. Now, we had a lot of mutual friends from high school, which some of them felt slighted by Sam getting to be the maid of honor, but I didn't care because I had built a stronger bond with Sam because the other friends actually went off to college. Y'all gonna see me do a magic trick, and I'm no magician, but tissue came out my shirt. So what? Um, Sam was my maid of honor. We connected on a deeper level. We both stayed home side for school, and we just connected. And so nobody was really jealous or angry about her being the maid of honor. But I think that role kind of went to her head where she felt like she could just start like controlling and trying to do things that she shouldn't have been doing, saying things that she should not have been saying, inserting her opinion where it was not requested. Dora Blinks. Okay. So we're talking about being 20, 21 year olds at the time and not really having that many boundaries in place. So I was trying to navigate how to respect my relationship, like still be in the process with my mother as her youngest daughter getting married, and like still include my besties like in the process, right? Um, but that would fail. I wouldn't do a good job with that. The communication wasn't there. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't the best communicator, and like, come with me for dress shopping, or come with me to pick the menu, or come with me to see the venue. I didn't do all of those maid of honor roles because I had a mother and two sisters. So like, you're just gonna be the maid of honor on that day. I don't really have space for you to be all of the things because I have people to take those positions. And I have to say that she was the only girl in her family to her mom and dad. And I think again, she saw me in the sister role. I felt like she was a sister to me, but not really full fledged because I have sisters. And I've never been the type to give other people familial titles in my life. I don't call other older women like a mom. I don't say things like that. Like, she's like a mother to me. No, you're not. I have a living mother that I love and honor and respect. I don't give other people that title. I don't call friends sisters. I don't do that because that's disrespectful to the sisters I do have. I know people that say, she like the sister I never had. I got two. I'm good. We're friends, right? I always know how to set those boundaries and let people stay within their titles and their space and position in my life. I don't over, present who people are to me because it gives people a false sense of connection. And this is clearly what happened in this case. But I wouldn't come to have those views until I got older because at this time, she felt like a sister to me. She saw me as one, and I kind of saw her as one. And this is where it got cloudy. So as we got closer to the wedding, things kind of started to get a little uncomfortable because things that I wanted, I wasn't running them past her. I wasn't including her in a lot of the maid of honor duties that she probably thought she should have had. And I never communicated that I wasn't going to. I just was moving, flowing, and doing what I needed to get married, right? And it would get to the night before the wedding, okay, the rehearsal. So Courtney and his people are here from Mississippi. I got all my people here, from Indiana, in Indiana for the wedding. And we're rehearsing, we're eating dinner. My wedding planners are upstairs in the church, decorating the church. I wish I could insert photos here, but I'm just not going to do it. It was a beautiful occasion, right? At least to me anyway. Everybody wedding day is beautiful to them, but it can be like, girl, bye to y'all. But it was beautiful to me. Um, but no, it was a beautiful time. Like, I enjoyed it. I just loved having everybody there. Like, I loved having everybody there. But sis was pissed, okay? And I kind of had noticed like a little pullback or a little dryness, but I didn't acknowledge it because again, I'm 20, 21. You don't really go in on your friends when you're that young. You let them be, shady or standoffish, and you ignore because you don't want problems. You don't want confrontation. And I didn't. I didn't want a problem, so I didn't acknowledge anything. I just thought it would go away, and maybe she was just standoffish because it was people from out of town and they were getting my attention. So I let it slide. Um, but it wouldn't. It would be later on. It would be that night after the rehearsal dinner when her and another, a couple of my other friend girls from high school, we're now 21 though, they wanted to go out. Like, I didn't have a bachelorette party, but they wanted to go out. They wanted to go out and party, whether it was a club or whatever. And I was like, no, I can't go. And I couldn't go for two reasons. One, I didn't want to, and two, my mama wasn't gonna let me. Y'all like, what? Girl, you was 21. I said what I said. One, my mama wasn't go. Well, one, I didn't want to go, and two, my mama wasn't gonna let me go. I could not go. I couldn't. I can't believe I'm saying this. I could not go. Growing up the way that I was raised, You respected and revered your parents. My mother, I ain't gonna say my parents because my mom was a single mother. It was just there. I wasn't even going to ask if I could go out with my friends. At 21, I didn't even know to exercise my own right to be out if I wanted to. I just didn't. And I didn't ask. I just told them no, like, no, y'all ain't going out tonight. And so we didn't go out. And I think that pissed her off. It pissed her off. I never told her why I couldn't go out. I think she thought I wasn't going out because Courtney didn't want me to go out. No, 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 no. It was because of my beliefs and how I was raised that I wasn't finna even go ask my mom if I could go out that night, which is insane because I'm getting ready to be a whole free independent person tomorrow with a husband in someone else's last name. But tonight I'm like, no, sis, I can't go with y'all. Crazy, right? Dang. I'd never sat with that before. I never sat with this truth, y'all, that I did not go out the night before my wedding with friends in whatever capacity. I don't even know what they wanted to do. I just told them no, I couldn't go anywhere. Dang, I didn't do that because of my beliefs, my religion, and I'll give the values of how I was raised. We just weren't go out girls. We weren't raised to go out. Not that that's bad, but I'm just saying my mother, like, all of the foundational principles were that you were a good girl, you stayed in, you weren't out and about. And I didn't do nothing. I went nowhere. And I don't miss it. I don't regret it, but I'm just saying I never sat with that was the truth of why I told them no that night. And all of them, well, I don't think any of them cared. I think they kind of was like, oh, Christian, like we should, but they didn't put no pressure on me. And I'm grateful for that. So I appreciate them for respecting that. But I would later come to find out that she was pissed about that. Sam was pissed that I did not go out the night before my wedding. Okay, so let's get to the wedding day. The wedding day comes, it's cool, it's fun, or whatever, and it goes. I moved to Mississippi. Moved to Mississippi, and it's funny because once I got to Mississippi, I think I was there for maybe like 2 or 3 weeks at the time. This is my first time ever living away from home with someone else ever in life. I had moved into a dormitory in Starkville and MSU by myself, but I never lived in an apartment or a home or anything by myself. I never had roommates. Even in college, my roommate didn't show up on move-in day, so I ended up having a room to myself in college. So to now move to Mississippi and live with someone else, a man, by myself for the first time, it was a new experience, a whole new world. Shout out to Jasmine in Aladdin. So I'm in Mississippi, and I don't know how long, I think it was like between 2 or 3 weeks after the wedding, I had a dream. I had a dream that Sam and I got into it, that she was pissed with me. She was going off. She was being you could feel the anger in the dream. Like, I don't remember words, but I remember energy. And so when I woke up, it bothered me. Like, I felt so uncomfortable, but I hadn't talked to her since the wedding. Hadn't talked to her. Me and Courtney didn't go on a honeymoon. We were young. I literally worked up until the week of my wedding to help my mother pay for my wedding. He literally didn't have extra money like that anyway. So we weren't going on nothing. We didn't do no honeymoon. So I called her. I called her. I had the dream. And maybe a day or so later, it was bothering me so bad. I called her. She answered the phone. She was dry as a Sahara desert. She was drier than the Sahara desert. When I tell y'all, when Sam answered that phone for me, it was like I owed her money. And I'm talking to my regular, normal, bubbly tone. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Like, I ain't talked to you in a long time. Dry. So I had to bring it down. And I was like, well, I don't know. This is very strange, but I had a dream that you were upset with me. Like, it is crazy because my tone was one as if though she was going to tell me, no, girl, I'm good. Like, that's crazy because we good. That ain't what sis said after I said what I said. Sis was like, well, dun, dun, dun. That ain't what you want to hear when you present somebody with the I had a nightmare about you. You for damn sure don't want them to say, well, that was true. Sis was like, well, actually, I do have a problem. I'm driving on this little highway in Mississippi and I'm like, oh no. And that's when she gave me what needed to be gave. And she shared with me all of her grievances with my wedding or my nuptials. It wasn't even a wedding day. It was my nuptials. It was the fact that I married who I married and how I carried myself thereafter. And I don't know. Maybe y'all could tell me. Maybe I carry some fault in this, which I've tried to, navigate this, you know, from a retrospective standpoint and say maybe I did play a part by not really having my own thoughts on going out or whatever. Maybe I didn't involve her enough in the wedding planning as a maid of honor. Maybe I wasn't as communicative as I could have been after the wedding. Yeah, I'll take my parts in those things because I was young and I didn't have that much experience in life, in love, and in relationships. Plural, not just marriage, but friendships to know how to engage and keep people a part of your nucleus and allow them in. And so I'll definitely hold that as accountability for my part in this dissolution of relationship. But what I will not hold the L for is how she proceeded to deliver and how I proceeded to respond. So she told me that she didn't like the fact that I didn't go out with them the night before the wedding. She felt as if though I thought I was better than them. Oh man, let's see. Okay, let's see. I just got a call and I had to put my phone on do not disturb, y'all. So if there's a lag in the video, that's what happened. So she said that she felt as if though I thought I was better than them and I didn't want to go out with them. And I was like, that's not it at all. I didn't think that. Like, I just really didn't want to go. I didn't want to go out. I was tired. I wanted to get home. I had to get up early for a hair appointment and I didn't want to go. Now, these were the reasons I listed because honestly, at the time, too, those really were my reasons. And like I just said, and like you guys just witnessed, I just had that epiphany of why I also didn't go because I knew I couldn't ask my mom, right? I knew I didn't want to. I'm not a clubber. I don't like going out, y'all. I just don't. I like going out to eat, but I don't like going out to do a lot of extra rah rah. That just ain't me. So I didn't want to go. But I also didn't want to go because of the mother element, but I knew I had other things to do in the morning. So it was just like compound, but it wasn't because I felt like I was better than them. Like, y'all my girls, what are you talking about? Going out with you didn't make you a bad person. So anyway, and she was saying that she also felt like Courtney was controlling me and didn't want me to go and be with my friends the last night of being a single woman. I said, that ain't it either. He didn't care. Like, he didn't even know that y'all wanted to go somewhere. He was from out of state with his family and his groomsmen and his cousins. So he wasn't studying my plans. He wasn't staying in my mama house. He was in a hotel. What does that have to do? So at that time, I think I was infuriated with the lack of communication. And again, going back to knowing me, we have relationships. Say, I'm like, why are you doing this? Baby, what is you talking about? This ain't what's actually happening. You are making these things up, but they were valid to her. And so I was trying to respect what she was conveying and hear it with a clear heart, but it was hard to do because it wasn't the truth. So of course I became offended and I became defensive. I was offended by what she was sharing about the personal attacks against me, but I was also defensive of my now husband and what I actually did not do. And so that didn't go over well. And in that, she had the nerve to spout off and say something that just was a no go for me. She then proceeded to dig her heels in and say that I only married my husband for money, which at that point I was looking at it like, where is the money? Where are the funds that you speak of, hon? He ain't got them. Now, without going into too much detail, but to give a backstory, my husband's sister came into a lot of money when we were dating earlier on in our relationship due to a what is the word? There were casualties. People actually died in this horrific house fire. Lives were lost on my husband's side of the family during a horrific house fire. And my sister in law did come into some money. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. And Sam knew this, but this happened in 2016. We got married in 2019. Courtney wasn't in the house fire. Courtney didn't get any money. His sister did, but he didn't. I never told her that Courtney got money. So now these accusations, shout out to Marlon Wayans from Norbit. Now these accusations that sis is throwing on me, it's got me out here looking like a gold digger. And that's not what it was. He didn't have no money, honey. What are you talking about? So now this gave me insight on what she thought was a determining factor in me being with him. But that wasn't true. And she knew that because I never shared that to be the truth. Like she knew about his sister getting money because we were best friends and I had shared that with her when I was dating him in 2016 when we were still seniors in high school. So how do you get his family, well, someone from his family getting money? How do you correlate that from 2016 to 2019 that this is why I'm marrying him when I've been dating him since before that fire took place? You're upset. I didn't do anything. I didn't make you feel like this about me. You're racking up these occurrences to be angry. And that's not my burden to bear, that you feel like you're losing a friend. So you have to say all of these nasty things to me, which are now calling my character into question when I don't even care about these things because he ain't got no money. And I'm asking, well, he didn't have no money. I ain't gonna say that now because he got a coin, but then he didn't. So now I'm trying to figure out, what are you mad about? And why are you projecting this onto me? So now I'm offended and now I'm in full on defense mode. So now we're cussing. Now we are getting loud with each other. And I'm like, who the F is you talking to? Like, ain't nobody doing none of that shit. Like, that ain't even true. Girl, you done missed it. Like, whatever you talking about, you need to stop. You need to cut it. You need to let that go. You don't need to say that shit no more to nobody because you wrong. That ain't it. That ain't it, sis. That ain't what I'm doing. That ain't what I wanted. He ain't got no money. That's not why we're here. But in her mind, it was. And so I didn't see that. She didn't see my side of it. And our relationship was ultimately over with. It was over with. And I don't give a you. Don't ever talk to me again. Like, this is what she's saying. I'm saying things back to her. Now I'm telling her she's jealous. You just mad because X, Y, and Z. Your man ain't proposed to you. Don't be mad at me because he cheating on you and got another chick pregnant. We went there. We went there, honey. If you want to put my address into your GPS, please know when you get here, I am delivering like it's DiGiorno. Okay? Not a problem. Whatever you ordered, I am bringing add-ons for free because you paid for it when you tried me, right? I don't mind. The time has always been on my side and I give what you need. Yes, I provide. And I did. And it's like, oh, I wish I hadn't took it that far, but I did. Because if you want to take it there, we can take it there. And I did. And so whatever she thought she was giving, I had more in my backpack. Shout out to Dora. It wasn't hard. And see, that's what I don't like about these things with confrontation when you are usually immature because you don't mind reciprocating. Now, I wouldn't reciprocate. At this present moment in my life, I would not engage the way that I did when I was 21 because I have life experience that lets me know that you're only acting out of hurt. So for me to respond to that, I would have to then be willing to hurt you, and I could not have been as genuine in the relationship as I portrayed to be if it's so easy for me to come out of myself back at you. What you're doing is you being hurt. What I would have to do to respond would be me never caring enough to be able to come out of myself and not see your hurt and respond the way that you're responding. And I don't want to do that. So I'm not a reaction person anymore. I am a how can I say this? I'm an observant person. Oh, you're doing this because of that. No, thank you. You're not going to get me into it. I'm not engaging. I will disengage and de-escalate by ignoring you before I engage and give you what you're giving me. At that point, I understand that my relationship with you and your access to me is so valuable, I am going to remove the access. That will make you suffer more. You will be left to sit with and think about why you said and did what you did that caused me to disengage and to leave you by yourself. And it is one of those you're going to miss me when I'm gone type of energies. You cannot be as impactful if you're giving the same thing that someone else is giving to you. You're more powerful and you can retain your power by not engaging and leaving them feeling as if though, dang, I don't even deserve a response and don't, because you're responding from a place of hurt. I'm going to respond from a place of maturity. I don't have to do that. I would never hurt you the way that you're hurting me. I would never use your information or secrets or pain points against you. What we've discussed in private, personally, and where I've been there for you and supported you, I would never use that against you. I would never do that to you. I didn't know that then, but I know that now. And at the time, she didn't realize that she was hurting me. I'd already been through enough with this individual. Him and I had already mended and gone through the counseling we needed to premarital wise to get to this place of stability and trust. Only for you to throw it in my face that his family has gone through a horrific experience, only for you to turn around and say things to me about being cheated on or watching my back or looking out. Yeah, he might do this to you. You think he loves you, but he don't. The things she said to me were horrible, horrible, based off of what I'd share with her. That's why I then reciprocated by throwing things at her about her boyfriend. But the difference was I was now sitting on the phone as a wife. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're not the same. We weren't the same even in that moment, but I brought myself to that level because I was hurt by a friend. So this is the time I lost a friend because I got married. And getting married is supposed to be a blessing. Some borrow, some old, some new, some bald, some blue. Honey, she borrowed my old information and made it my new confrontation. And then we borrowed a situation and it made me blue that I had to stay true and had to do to you what you tried to do to me and it wasn't gonna work. So yeah, I don't know like if other people have these instances where you have to go back and you're retrospective about like, dang, what did I do in that situation? How did I play a part? Now I actually love these. It's like I have my own life case studies. Oops, sorry, little microphone falling. I have my own life case studies where I'm realizing and I'm remembering instances where I wasn't my perfect self, where I didn't give my perfect effort, but I've grown and I've used those as stepping stones to say I could have been better in that area. I see the maturity in that area and I know more now. And I am a better friend. I'm a better person because of that, right? Courtney and I, from 2009 to 2023, we're still married, right? More happily now than ever, right? Then, but I'm grateful for those stepping stones to realize that yes, friendships can exist and you can grow from them. But in the event that you don't do the work to have that growth and evolution, you'll find yourself fulfilling all of the things that were thrown and projected onto you. And that's where it's your responsibility to not let people be right. You don't have to try to prove them wrong, but you make sure that what you know about yourself is more true than what they ever thought of you. And I don't have to worry about going back and saying, see, I told you that wasn't going to happen to me. No, no, no. She hasn't been in my mind like that ever. If anything, I've used what happened between us as friends to be a blueprint and a guide for how I navigate with other people, how I make sure I include them the way that I think they should be included, or I respect their position in my life and what they have brought to the table and help me to change and evolve as a person. And I let them know that I appreciate them. So maybe if I had been a little bit more appreciative of the role she played in helping me to get from distraught, right, to actual matrimony with this person, she would have felt like she was a part of the process a little bit more. And maybe she acted out because she didn't feel appreciated. That's possible. I mean, that's very possible. But at any rate, we both had our faults in it. And I hope she's doing better and she's doing well for herself. And yeah, it's just all learning curve. Sam, if you see this video, that ain't your real name, but you know who I'm talking to. If you see this, you know, my phone number's still the same from high school, sis. Hit me up. I would love to chop it up, see how you're doing. The past is the past, right? There was nothing else other than that that hurt me or bothered me that would cause me not to trust her like her. It was just in that instance, I think she was hurt. And I responded based off of the defensiveness and the accusations that was thrown at me. But I'm grown now and I've moved on, but I'm still with the same man. So let's see if we can talk. Yeah, girl, I would love it. I mean, we wouldn't be friends again, but we could definitely chop it up and see where we are in life. So anyway, there's that story time. If you enjoyed it or you have your own situation or circumstance where you've lost someone because of a relationship, or maybe you were Sam in this story. Maybe you were the person that felt slighted when your friend, your bestie got a man. Let me know. Because this stuff happens in real life. People feel replaced because someone else comes into the picture of their bestie and they don't know how to navigate their new position in their friend's life. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna let y'all go. If you enjoyed the video, please like it, subscribe to the channel. I would love to add you to my 2 cents crew. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.